Hi guys, I'm Anna. Thanks for joining me. We're sitting on the floor today because the lighting was much better down here than it is sitting up in a chair. And you get a view of my Christmas tree. I'll apologize now for my voice. I'm just getting over a bit of sickness that I've been fighting since Thanksgiving. And now we can get into things. About 3 weeks ago, I posted a video about the fruit of the Spirit and how I'm using those fruit to strengthen my spirit and hopefully produce those fruits. And now I'm getting into the very first one that I worked on, self-control, and how I am using self-control in motherhood. Alright, first, if you haven't watched that video about strengthening my spirit, I will link it up here. And if you're like me and have no idea how that link works, there will be like a little circle right here with an eye in it. And you can tap that at any time and there will be like this drop bar that pops up with any videos I link during this video. So you'll see it pop up, and then anytime in the video you can click on that little circle and it will drop down and you'll see those videos that I'm talking about, and you can click on those and watch them. So you can wait till the end of this video to watch them too. But in that Strengthening My Spirit video, I talked about how I'm going to use the fruit of the Spirit and spend 3 weeks on each one and really work on it and focus on that, and then use it to strengthen myself and my relationships and my mothering. I decided to start from the bottom and start with self-control, and so for the last 3 weeks, I've been focusing on building my self-control so that I can be a better me, a better mom, and ultimately have more good days and fewer bad days. In that video, I kind of explained how I research self-control versus self-discipline, what it is, the definition, where it is in the Bible, and what the Bible says about self-control, and that was all really eye-opening for me. So definitely watch that video to get kind of my perspective of what self-control is, but just for the sake of this video, self-control for me was not doing things I want to do because there is a better option. It's not saying that the things I'm doing are inherently bad, because they're not necessarily, but it's just saying that there is a better option. So self-control was saying no to those things I was doing in favor of a better option. Do you ever have those times where you feel like God is just chuckling in the background as you go through your lives? Well, I feel like this was one of them, because I went straight for self-control, and then during those 3 weeks, I think I was sick 2.5 of them. And when I'm sick, I have no self-control. There's like this stereotype out there that moms do everything while they're sick and dads like die when they're sick. And that's just not true in our household. I'm a horrible sick person. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay on the couch, watch movies, drink tea, sleep, read books. I don't want to do a thing. So for me, being sick, it takes a lot of self-control to actually get up and take care of the house and take care of the children. And I didn't do the best job. I mean, I was sick. I'm gonna rest. I'm kind of that mindset. When I'm sick, I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna get better. I could do all the things, but those can also get done in 4 days when I'm feeling better. So that's kind of my motto. So self-control was a little bit hard for me to work on these last 3 weeks, but there are some things that I noticed that I'm going to share with you guys today. The first thing that was most obvious for me when I started implementing more self-control into my mothering was that everything took a little bit more time. Everything. Every decision I made, everything I was about to do just took longer. I had to think about it. Everything I did, I just stopped and I thought about it a little bit. Just giving myself time to think about it helped me to make a better decision and helped me to use that control. If I just went on my day and kept doing my normal thing, I wasn't actually thinking about self-control. But because I wanted to make a point to have more self-control, I had to slow down and really think about every single thing I was doing. So when I was feeding the kids lunch and they were getting snappy at me because they were hungry and I wasn't making their lunches fast enough, normally I would snap right back at them and be like, "Hey, you can wait. I'm working as fast as I can." But instead I slowed down and thought about it. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to say. Self-control is not doing things you want to do because you know they're not good or right. So I slowed down and I thought, what should I really say? So I said, instead, "I know you guys are hungry. I am making lunch as fast as I can. I need you to be patient and not snap at me. Will you please be more patient? And will you please wait quietly while I make your lunch, and then you can eat?" And that doesn't always work, let's be honest. Kids aren't very patient, just like I'm not super patient, and they're not good at waiting quietly. But telling them that in a calmer voice is a lot more effective than snapping at them. So that was one example of how I would slow down, take time, and think of how I could use self-control in this situation. Another time that I found myself really using more self-control was when the kids asked me to play with them or read to them or do things with them. Normally, if I'm in the middle of something, I'll just tell the kids, not right now, mommy's working on this, let me get this done and then we can play, we'll do it later. And then honestly, we hardly ever get to it because they get distracted and do something else. I shouldn't just keep putting the kids off like that. So a way I was able to use this self-control was that I wanted to keep cleaning the house. I wanted to keep working on my bullet journal. I wanted to keep reading the book I was reading or laying on the couch not feeling the best. Those are the things I wanted to do. And note, those things aren't bad. Cleaning the house isn't bad. That's good. It's something that needed to be done. Working on my bullet journal, not bad. I needed to get it done. I still need to get it done. I'm a week behind. Laying on the couch and healing when I'm not feeling well is a good thing. Those are all good things. But I found that there was something better to do, and that was spending time with the kids in my house and reading books with them and building Legos with them. It was so much fun. I just said, you know what, Anna? These are things you want to do. But is there something better you could be doing? And so I put down my bullet journal and I sat on the floor, we got out the Legos, pulled out all the green ones, and built a Lego Christmas tree. It wasn't that hard to do, and it was fun, and the kids enjoyed it, and I enjoyed doing it, and I was able to spend more time with the kids and just enjoy being with them and be down on their level and do things kind of one-on-one with them or in a group with them, and that was so much fun. I really enjoyed doing that. But it might be different for you. If you're a mom that does not want to clean the house and does not want to do things for herself or does not want to get the dishes done or the laundry done or does not want to take a break from her kids, self-control could look a lot different for you. Self-control might be telling your kids, you know what, mom really does need to do something else right now, honey. If you find that you are giving all of your time to your kids, which this was me, I struggled with this so much. My mantra with Heidi when she got to like that playing age, about a year and older, was laundry is always going to be there. Heidi's not always going to be this age. And that was like what I lived by. That was my motto. I would tell myself that every day. The dishes are always going to be there. The house is always going to be dirty. There's always going to be laundry. Heidi's not always going to be this super fun age. I'm going to soak up every minute I have. And I did. I spent so much time just playing with her and reading with her that I did nothing else. And it was fun. I loved it and she enjoyed it, obviously. And I don't think there was anything wrong with that. We loved it. It was a good thing. But was there something better I could do some of the time? Yes. The house was a mess, like all the time. The dishes were stacked high. The laundry was piling up. My husband never had enough clothes to wear to work the next day. I was behind on my homework. All this was piling up because I wanted to spend more time with Heidi, which is a good thing. It's a beautiful and wonderful thing. Until one day, driving home from work, Aaron was like, Anna, we're going to need to talk about this. And so we did. We sat down, we talked about my priorities. He loved that my priority was Heidi. He loved that I wanted to spend time with her, but he made me realize that just because that's a good thing doesn't mean there aren't other good things you need to be doing too. Doesn't mean you can shirk all your other responsibilities as a stay-at-home mom and a housewife. So in that situation, self-control for me was the exact opposite. It wasn't stopping things and going to play with Heidi. It was stopping playing with Heidi, letting her have some alone playtime, coloring, reading by herself, and getting up and doing the other things I need to do in the house. So whatever your situation is, self-control might look completely different as a mom. For me, I just had to evaluate my life. Look at all the things I was doing. The first things I had to cut out were the things I knew weren't good for me, things I didn't need to be doing. I read somewhere that you can look at your whole life and then look at where you want your life to be in 5 years. And if what you're doing today doesn't get you to where you want to be in 5 years, don't do it. Cut it out. Just stop. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. That would be a great place to start for some self-control. So I looked at my life, and if it didn't serve a purpose, if things in my life didn't serve a purpose, weren't going to get me to where I want to be in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, or even in 5 weeks, then I had to stop doing them. That's what self-control is. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed sitting on the couch for a half hour after the kids went to bed and eating a second lunch. That's not the healthiest habit, but it was relaxing for me. Nap times when I get to relax and chill, and lunch time's normally just a crazy mess, and getting them down's a bit of a mess. So I always really look forward to that time after naps where I just get to chill on the couch. But usually that 15-minute chill turned into a half hour, an hour, hour and a half. Suddenly the kids are up and I'm angry because I didn't get stuff done. And then normally I would eat again while I'm sitting there waiting, and I don't need that extra food. I wasn't hungry. I was eating because I was bored and just sitting there. So that was something that I did, and I still do sometimes, but I did that every single day as soon as the kids were down for naps. And self-control these 3 weeks, aside from being sick and having to lay on the couch, has looked like telling myself no. If I need a break, if I really am overwhelmed, I can sit down and rest, but I'm going to sit at the chair at the kitchen table, and I can have my tea, and I can finish my lunch. I'm not going to eat more than I need, but just getting myself to do something different. So sitting on the couch, I'm not going to get up. It's really comfortable. It's nice and warm and cozy. I'm not getting up. So self-control for me in this situation just looked like moving, because I know I'm not going to sit in my chair at the kitchen table for an hour. So just moving that activity cut it short. Just like that. That's all I needed. So I found myself implementing self-control just like that. And it works. I still get time to rest. I can enjoy a cup of tea. I can read a book or something, but I don't sit there as long. Partly because I can see the messy kitchen and that will motivate me, but partly because it's just not as comfortable to do that. But occasionally I still will sit on the couch if it's been a really bad day or if I had a rough night, because naps are good too. So there are lots of good things. And that's kind of what I've learned from this whole journey with self-control, is that I have a lot of good things in my life, a lot of good options I could take, a lot of good things I can do. It's just choosing which ones are better. Self-control isn't necessarily about choosing good over bad. It's just choosing better over good. It's not like I'm doing bad things. I'm doing some not the best things, that's for sure. But it's not like I'm sitting around here just doing awful, unlawful, terrible things and I have to stop myself from doing these things. That's not what self-control is for the general population even. Self-control is telling yourself no to things that may be good so you can do better, greater things. And a lot of times in motherhood, that looks like saying no to ourselves so we can say yes to bettering our children and being a greater family and working together as a family and building a stronger household. And a lot of times that is what self-control looks like as a mom, but I feel like we're fed these two completely different ideas of what motherhood is. We're constantly fed the idea that our children need to have this amazing life with these extravagant holidays and this elf that moves to a different place in the house, and then put that on top of everything else. We have to take them to see lights in the Christmas village and see Santa Claus maybe a couple times. There will be carriage rides they want to go to. We have to take them to different holiday gatherings and parties. They need to be involved in the church musical and the play and all these different things. And who's running around getting all this ready? Who's shopping and buying all the presents? It's the moms. A lot of the times it's the moms. And so we have this idea, this pressure that we need to do all these things. But then we also have this thing that's being pushed at us of self-care and taking time for yourself and doing the things you need to do and want to do. And I feel like a lot of times these become like completely polar opposites. Like if you're on the self-care side, your kids have a really boring Christmas. But if you're on the kids come first and give them the best life ever side, then you must not do a thing for yourself and you're a mess and you're falling apart and you need help. Like, where did these camps come from? Well, they came from a lack of self-control as a mother. On one side, you have no self-control when it comes to your kids, what you do for them, and what you give to them. And is there anything bad on this side? Is it bad to give your kids a wonderful holiday and a wonderful, exciting life? Those are all good things. They're great things. And our kids love it and we enjoy it. Those aren't bad things inherently. On the other side, we have no self-control when it comes to ourselves. We will do things that are good for ourselves. We'll spend time on ourselves. We'll take the rest when we need it. We do things that we know we need, and those are all good things. It's all very good there. It's good to take time for yourself and build yourself and work on yourself and take rest when you need it. Those are good things. But what makes them so polarized, what makes them almost mutually exclusive today, is that we have no self-control when it comes to those things. So for me, self-control was looking at the good things on either side and weighing them and picking which ones were great, which ones were going to work together to get me to a spot in the middle. I was going to have to say no to some of these things that I knew would just make an amazing holiday for the kids. I'm going to have to say no to some of those, but I'm also going to have to say no to myself a lot, and that was the harder one for me. I do things for myself a lot, and I'm going to have to start saying no to those things so I can meet in the middle somewhere, where I'm saying yes to fun, great ideas with the kids, and yes to keeping myself sane and healthy and cared for. And then here I am, a mom that is healthy and cared for, and children that are healthy and cared for. And that's a wonderful place to be, but it's really hard to get there. And self-control is a huge part of it because you have to be able to say no. You have to be able to say no to taking your kids to every single thing. You have have to be able to say no to signing them up for everything, to getting them every gift that's on their list, saying no to putting up every single decoration you have for every holiday and making everything a big deal. You might have to say no to birthday parties. There could be a lot that you're going to have to say no to. But then on the other side, you're going to have to say no to yourself too. And for me, that's saying no to laying on the couch for an hour after nap time. Sometimes it's saying no to cleaning the kitchen. Sometimes it's saying no to doing the laundry right now. Those things are still going to get done. But sometimes there's something greater, something better that could be done right now. And it's just honestly weighing that in a case-by-case basis. I don't want to be on one side or the other. I don't want to neglect myself, and I don't want to neglect the children. So I have to be controlled. I have to be self-controlled to be able to say no to the things that may be good, but aren't the best. That can be really difficult to do. And that's kind of what I found in these last 3 weeks. I struggle to say no to myself, especially when I'm sick. And I struggle to say no to the kids, especially when they're adorable. But that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm trying to build, is this strength, this ability to say no to good things to get better things. Because a mother with self-control, a mother who is able to say no, a mother who is able to weigh the good versus the better, that's a mother that has room for herself, room for her children, room for her family, and is able to keep a peaceful house, a haven home. And that's what I want to be as a mom. And that's what I want to see other mothers enjoying as well. And your version of self-control and balance is going to look completely different from mine. I have to make choices that are going to work for my family, the age my children are at, where I live, what time I'm willing to do things, the time my children sleep. Those are all things I have to take into consideration when I'm saying yes or no to these different things. But for you, it could be completely different, and you get to decide what's best for you and your family. Not just what's good, because a lot of things are good, but what is best? What is better than what you're doing right now? What better choices can you start making for you and your family? That is what self-control is about, and that is what I've been learning. Self-control is making the better decision for you and your family. Guys, I have loved doing this so far. This is going to be awesome, going through the fruit of the Spirit. I'm really happy that this came to me and that I get to work on this, and I'm really thankful that you guys are tagging along for it. I would love to hear what you guys are thinking about it. It would be so cool if some of you guys went through this with me and worked on these things right alongside me. That would be awesome. Look at me, I'm grinning like a kid. That would be so cool if some of you moms out there decided to work on these things with me. We just did self-control. You can work on that too if you would like to do that next. The next thing that I will be working on, because we're doing the fruit of the Spirit from bottom to top, will be gentleness. And I've been really excited for this one because I think it will be mostly easy, but maybe not the easiest. I'm going to be researching it, looking into it, reading what the Bible says about gentleness, and then applying it to being a mother. So if you guys are in on this, do it with me. That would be so cool. Work for the next 3 weeks, just focus on gentleness. How can you be more gentle as a mom? How can you be more gentle with your children? That's what I'm going to be doing. And then we can meet back here in 3 weeks and talk about it. So let me know in the comments if you're on. I'll make it a challenge. I'm challenging you to do it. Work on it with me. Let me know in the comments if you accept my challenge. That would be so cool. And then, to be sure you get the update in 3 weeks when I come back to talk about gentleness, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. All that does is get you connected to my channel. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not like I'm going to send you emails or anything like that. It just lets me know that you're supporting me, and then hitting that bell icon just sends you a little notification in your YouTube inbox every time I post a video. So that's going to be next Friday. Please do that. That is what helps me out the most. I'm really excited to continue on this journey with you guys. Hopefully you are enjoying it as much as I am. I hope you're all having a wonderful day and a wonderful Christmas time. Enjoy your lives. Enjoy your children. Bye.